All right, man, another day, another set of free picks for y'all boys. As you can see on the screen right now, last night in the national championship, we went 2 for 3. We had Jeremiah Love under. Obviously, that crushed. It didn't even come close. Jeremiah Smith hit towards the end of the game. I was waiting on them to throw him the ball all game long. They were running man coverage, leaving him one-on-one, and they just weren't targeting him, which is a little bit weird to me, but he did end up hitting. And the only thing that didn't end up hitting was my most confident pick, Travion Henderson, under 11 rushing attempts, because he barely went over at just 12. He hadn't hit this line all year. He hadn't even hit 11 one time. He hadn't even pushed this line. He has gone under every single time. So what are the odds the time that I bet it in the national championship, he ends up going over? It's just crazy to me. But we'll take 2 for 3. Not terrible. Obviously, I paired Will Howard with it. Paid around 8 to 9x, I think. Almost hit it. But that's why I tell you, put in two-leggers. It's a lot easier to hit that way. And right here, if you would have split them up, you could have made some money. So those are my picks from the other night. That's the recap. I am going to start putting everything in a doc. As you can see right here, we went 3-1. I have the lines we had. I put green for the ones that hit and red for the one that didn't hit. And then I have their full record here and the win percentage here. I'm going to do this for all my free picks going forward to show you that they are profitable. They are winning picks. But with that being said, I don't want to waste your time. If you like videos like this, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos going forward. And also hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these 4 free picks that I have for the NBA. All right, so let's head over to Prizepicks. And the first pick that I have for you is Precious on the Knicks. Precious on the Knicks to go over his points plus rebounds right here at just 9.5. Now, as you can see, he's hit this line 2 out of his last 5 games. He's averaging over the line at 9.8. So while, yes, you might not like that he's only hit it twice in his last 5, what I want you to realize is if we head over to Props Madness and we go take a look at Precious, where's he at? Right here. You can see pretty easily that, number one, the Knicks have the 25th ranked defense in the entire NBA, so obviously it's not very good. And considering the Knicks are 12-point favorites, it looks like the sportsbooks think it's going to be a blowout. And if it is a blowout, he's probably going to get a lot more minutes. Now, what I like to do over here on Props Madness is go look at what happens when a player gets more minutes. And if he gets 20 or more minutes, he has hit his points plus rebound line every single time. So if the Knicks find a way to blow out the Nets like they should, he's going to see more playing time. And if he gets 18, 19, 20 minutes in that game, he should cruise over his line pretty easily. I mean, you can go look right here. Even if this guy just gets 15 minutes, he's still hitting this line over at a 70% rate. So go put this over in. Super confident in it. Points plus rebounds at 9.5. Now, for my next play, I was going to go take that guy Jovic on the Heat over his points, but right here you can see for some reason Prizepicks took it off. His points was at 9.5. I liked it there. They moved it up to 10. I still like this over there. And then they bumped it up to 11.5, and then they took him off. So I'm not exactly sure what they're doing here, but if you can get his line at 9.5 or 10, I really, really like it. I'm going to show you why right here. If you go over to Props Madness and you look at when this guy plays 20 plus minutes, he hits it super consistently. And in the past 2 games, even with Jimmy Butler back, he has played 24 minutes and he has played 31 minutes. So I don't see any reason why his minutes will go down, because I was worried that when Jimmy Butler came back, he was going to get less playing time. But ever since he came back, his playing time hasn't dropped off at all. I think the Heat loved what they saw out of him when Jimmy Butler was suspended, so they're continuing to play him. And considering the Trailblazers have the 26th ranked defense, I love this play a lot. At 9.5, I think this smashes. At 10, I think it smashes. But obviously, if it goes up to 11 plus, I probably wouldn't take it. Maybe at 10.5, if you feel comfortable taking that as well, you could. I don't hate it. But like I said, the lines are changing a lot. They kind of figured out that 9.5 or 10 was really low for this guy. I mean, he's hit his line 1, 2, 3. Let's see. If we go to just the last 10 games, he's hit it 8 out of his last 10, and his last 9, he's hit it 8 out of his last 9. He's hitting this super consistently, and even with Jimmy Butler back, he's still getting the minutes to be able to put these numbers up. So if you can find that line anywhere, I would go take it. If not, don't worry about it. Now, for my next play, we're going to go over back to Prizepicks, and I'm going to show you that I like Kispert to go over his 10.5 point mark right here, because I really do think the Lakers are a great matchup. He's obviously hit this line in 3 out of his last 5 games, but once again, if you go over to Props Madness, you find this guy, you can see that, where's it at? Corey Kispert. and you take a look at the Lakers' defense, number one, they're 22nd in transition, and they're also a bottom half team in the entire NBA at allowing above the break three-pointers, which is where Kispert scores all of his points. He likes to score number one in transition and number two above the break, so any three that isn't in the corner, and that's why I like this matchup so much. When you go look at what Kispert has done against teams that allow a lot of above the break three-pointers, he has cleared the line of 10.5 in 13 out of 16 games, so I love this line right here. He's obviously hitting this line at a 60% rate already, regardless of who he's playing against. So I love this line, especially against the Lakers. And I really would go hammer this line while you can. I wouldn't be surprised if it raises up a little bit. So go take 10.5, and that gives us our second or our third pick, depending on what Jovic's line is whenever he comes back to Prizepicks. Now, before we get into our last and final pick that I am the most confident in by far, I want to show you real quick that if you go use my code at Dabble or Sleeper, they're going to be in the top left and the top right of the screen. You're not only going to get a free 25 from Dabble, no deposit necessary. You're not only going to get 55 free dollars to play with if you just play 5 on Sleeper, but I'll also give you free VIP if you use my code. Just let me know in the comments below. I'm only going to do this for a limited amount of time, so let me know if you use my code in the comments. I'll get you free VIP, where we've been doing even better than we've been doing in our free picks, and that to me obviously shows a ton of value. So go use my code on either one of these apps, get the free deposit bonus, and then also let me know that you did it. I'll get you in free VIP. Just comment below, I'll contact you, we'll get you in. And now let's get back to my last pick, which is simply that guy, Mikal Bridges, to go over 17.5 points. Now, what I will say is his line was 16.5 not too long ago, but he still hit this over in 3 of his last 5 games. He's averaging 19.4 in his last 5 games, which is a really good mark to be at. And then also, when you head over to Props Madness and take a look, what I'm going to show you is that when the Knicks play, let's go look at Mikal Bridges. When the Knicks play and they have both Karl-Anthony Towns playing and they have Jalen Brunson playing, you're going to see that Mikal Bridges hits this line a lot more. In his last 30, he's 16 out of 30, but when you move the game down to 20, you see he's hitting at a 65% rate. So obviously the 16.5 line's a lot better if you could get that, but I still like it at 17.5, especially since he's about to play against a terrible Nets defense, and he got traded from the Nets, so he should have a little bit more motivation going into this game. He's averaging over this mark on the season so far, and he's also hitting it at a 65% rate in his last 20 games when Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns are healthy, and I do think Karl-Anthony Towns is going to play, even though he's supposedly a game-time decision. So if they both play, I really do think he's going to go over. Even if Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't end up playing, I still think he'll hit this over, especially since he's playing the Nets, they have a bad defense, and it's his old team. I think he's going to want to go out and show why they shouldn't have traded him. So that's my 4th pick. I love it, and like I said, if you'll use my code on Dabble or Sleeper, I'll get you free VIP as well. But until next time, let's go print some money and subscribe if you want more free picks just like this.